This is a quick Sunday check-in. Man City lost today. Did they lose? Yeah, they lost. It felt like worse, but it actually didn't feel like worse. That's a lie. But they did lose. Could have played better. I'll talk about it on the sports podcast on Wednesday. But this was something that I wanted to cover. I thought that was super important. Is I had the opportunity to go and see at the Kennedy Center the Infinity Saga concert experience. Now I know comic book movies are a strange place right now in 2025. I try to avoid dating things and make them evergreen, but this one obviously 2025. So I am of the mindset that the whole Infinity Saga was a really cool thing, because you got to grow up with it. It was sort of like, I guess, how when the first Star Wars trilogy came out, how people felt about that and growing with it and being connected to the characters, even though there's only like 3 movies and there was no like in-between media. I guess it was books, so I guess that counts, but whatever. So I saw it. I did not know what to expect. So here it is, right? The Infinity Saga, right? By the National Symphony Orchestra. Growing up in New York, I remember I got to see some on-Broadway and off-Broadway stuff that was really cool as a kid. So to experience this was something else, because one of the things that people understand is music is associated with feelings and emotions, and music is a language by itself without necessarily needing to have the most profound skills in instrumentation, because you have instruments on your body, hands, mouth, nose, ears, etc., body parts that can make sounds to make music something for you. And so I'm unsure when the first movie in the Marvel Infinity Saga came out, as far as like if that was the plan. Maybe they had a plan. I mean, I guess corporately they would need to have a plan, but I'm unsure. Looking at it, I think they just took a chance based on like the things that they saw. And then once they saw the success of Iron Man, and then Captain America, and then Thor, even though I think Thor came out first, but I'm not sure. Putting those 3 together and saying, you know what, let's do the Avengers, I thought was pretty cool. I mean, obviously they made the best of a situation because there were resources as far as access to the full roster of characters in the Marvel Universe was limited. So they said, hey, we're going to do something with this. I thought it was good because it was cool. So in this experience, I go in the Kennedy Center. Now, this is, for me, a kind of cool thing because this is my first time ever in the Kennedy Center. I've heard about so many things that happened there. And so I thought this was a really good thing to experience. I had my Spider-Man shirt on under my button-up shirt because, keeping it classy. And I mean, I invited some people, but I ended going by myself. But that's cool because there's power in going to things by yourself. You live most of your experiences alone, so you do that. So I wanted to see this because I was like, well, let's see this. And so I watched it, and the orchestra was in the front, and they had a screen in the back, so I'm unsure what's going to happen. And I've seen no reviews. I took a quick glimpse at the YouTube video, but a YouTube video and the real life experience is a different thing. So I had a pretty good seat. I was right at the front, about maybe 4 or 5 rows from the back, on the left center. And it was funny. This is the funniest thing. So, the orchestra's out there and the conductor comes out, we do the applause because that's what happens in sort of that formal show culture. And the lady addresses the crowd and says, hey, this is something that is unlikely you'll ever experience in a movie theater and the sort of the public sphere, because it's unlikely, or I guess never be released in cinema. And so she said the only place you'll see it is here and maybe YouTube, but she hopes not YouTube. What was funny about that is the lady walked away, came back, started the thing, and they did the thump, the start of all the things with the page turns and stuff like that, because they had the page turn thing on the screen. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got the thing. There's a dude in the center sitting 5 rows back, literally on the same aisle. I think I said I was 5 rows back, on the same aisle, with his phone out, recording it. After the lady just sitting down, the lady turned her back because obviously she's conducting the orchestra. But the phone is out and he's recording it. And so I'm sitting here like, dude, come on, man. Like, does everything have to be recorded? Does this recording tool not work anymore? Come on, man. And like, it's the experience, right? Because then it steals from the like real life thing, right? So anyways, funny, so Usher came in and was this older lady. So, you know, she really wasn't gonna do that. Because I was curious about what was gonna happen. So the older lady came and she was flashing the light. And she's like, sir. And I was laughing. I absolutely laughed. And then he just put his phone away. Even though I feel like, you know, low-key, they should have got like, you know, like the big dude and just yanked him out. That's what I would have done. Well, I would have got somebody to do. I wouldn't have done it. Because unless it was like, you know, somebody I felt confident that I could yank him out. Yeah. Nah, I would have done that. But I feel like that would have been appropriate to ask him to leave because he literally broke the rules less than 60 seconds after this lady said, please don't do that. So anyways, that boom, 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 boom. That's how it goes. See, I told you we have the tools, right? And so it goes through and it basically was a 2 hour and I don't know, maybe 40-minute thing because it was like an hour and some change, like 120, something like that, where they did it. They had an intermission and they did the second half, and it was the movie. So it started with Iron Man, and then and it was showing you like highlights of like, you know, the important parts that kind of lead, because it essentially turned into one movie of the entire thing. But the context and the emotion and the sound that was familiar, where Iron Man had a theme and Thor had a theme and Captain America had a theme, was important. And then the Avengers thing, because they did obviously the Avengers drop and sit down, and you know, the Hulk and all that stuff, and it was pretty cool, you know, before they, you know, kind of ruined the Hulk by making him smart Hulk, right? Ain't he supposed to smash? I mean, I got it. It was important for like the end, so he didn't do like crazy psycho stuff, but he supposed to smash though. It's because of I was thinking about this while I was in the concert. There was this guy on Facebook, and I love seeing it every time it pops back up. This guy on Facebook who did like a sort of a commentary on the Infinity War movie at the end of Infinity War, which is in my opinion, the best movie in the Infinity Saga. It was better than Endgame because we know why. The bad guy won. Even though, was Thanos a bad guy? Was he a bad guy? Right? I mean, killing people just, yeah. And the way they framed him, he wasn't necessarily a bad guy. He was like an anti-hero, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, so the guy is there, and he says, he breaks down every single person that was in there, you know, who was at fault for the snap, right? And he was calling like Thanos Knox or Cox or something. Like he was like, you know, Thanos the boxer. He was like, it was a commentary breakdown. I have no idea who the dude is. I love seeing it whenever it pops up. The funniest things ever. Because he had the part in the Hulk in there where, you know, the Hulk got, you know, 10, 20 pieced up. And then he didn't want to be the Hulk anymore. And like the jokes he had for this was amazing. Because then, you know, obviously he went in on Peter Quill. But anyways, we'll come back to my first part. So back to the first part. So it plays through there. And it plays through the first Avengers movie. And then it goes into Civil War, Spider-Man, and there's a lot of clapping, and you could hear sniffling and stuff in the tears, because these are things that people grow up with, and it was, I'm sure, emotional for people. They had their kids with them, which means, you know, these were obviously like moments where they had like family movie nights and stuff like that, because kids are into Iron Man now. Before that, then they weren't, you know, because Iron Man was like a, you know, a lower tier superhero. And it was cool because when we had the intermission, it was a lot of, I listened to the people, and the people was like, oh, you know, and they thought about the nostalgia, and they were talking about who they wish that was there with them, and how they could wish they could go back and watch Endgame or an Infinity War without having known what happened in the movie, like just to be oblivious of everything around it, which meant that was like a moment in like sort of cinematic history that I think is a really cool thing, and I hope that we can find a way in cinema and media in life to create things that are worth the wait. Because the thing is that we really had no idea that this was going to be a thing that we had to wait for until you saw Thanos at the end of the first Avengers, which set up the whole thing, right? And then now people are wondering, like, when are they going to do Thanos? Is it now? Is it now? Is it now? And because a lot of people didn't really know what the Thanos story was going to be, and they didn't know about the stones, it became a thing because there was still a mystery connected to it. So it's really exciting to see that. And so watching people remember that, revisit it, and some young people who you know, little kids who have yet to experience it, but like love Spider-Man, Iron Man, etc. It's really cool. And so then when we go back in the second half of the performance again of the Infinity Saga concert experience, which was again pretty cool, was basically focused on Infinity War, the movie, what happened in between, and then Endgame. And it was very interesting because it framed it in a very nice linear story. It gave you the story circle, the hero's journey, where everybody kind of had an arc, where everybody changed. And it was good because the video editing and all those things were like obviously Marvel tier for that. And so at the end of it all, you know, you have the Thanos saying, I don't take things personal, but this one I'm gonna enjoy. And then Tony doing the thing, and you know, it was everybody came out. You know, Black Panther, right, came, and you know, on your left, this is my left, on my left, and all of that was great. And then, you know, the embrace with Spider-Man and all that stuff, you know, where, I mean, Tony really recognized, you know, he was a little more selfless. And then when, you know, Doctor Strange said, we knew. And then Tony got in a fight, got the thing, and right, he is Iron Man. And it ended the same way it started, the story circle, except he's different now. And I think that part is cool because now Tony and Iron Man become a legend. But it also does something else to the universe. It's probably a fantastic, even though I know I've heard commentary about, you know, I guess traditional directors and acclaimed directors who saw comic book movies as watering down the cinematic experience. But sometimes I feel like, you know, people go in just to hear the story and have fun. It's why the Three Little Pigs and all those simple children's stories have had resonates. I was trying to say resonation. I don't think that's a word, but it resonates sort of generationally in I feel like every culture has some kind of children's story connected to some kind of life lesson. And I think in whole, the way the Infinity Saga worked out was really good. I remember where I was when I watched it. I was in Colombia, and it was in Spanish, and I absolutely loved it in Spanish. And it gave me a bit of nostalgia. And you know, I'm very rarely or seldomly a nostalgic person, but I appreciated it. I appreciated the time. I appreciated the time that I got to spend with the people I was around. But I also appreciated, you know, being present to see that. And so I look forward to hopefully being a part of another cinematic experience that some individual helps create, or that I create myself, of a story that gives you the full arc of a person growing and the world changing around them and appreciating the moments. So with all of that, I'm sharing this because if you get a chance to watch the Infinity Saga concert experience, if it's in another place and you like Marvel, I think it's absolutely worth seeing. I would go back again. And it actually makes it feel a little more fulfilling to do it. It was 2 hours and 30 minutes as I look in here. It was 2 hours and 30 minutes. I give Disney their props. I give Marvel their props. And I understand and recognize that Marvel and Disney and all storytellers have a very interesting challenge in front of themselves to create another universe and sort of community experience for the masses to connect to something like this, because superheroes are the best of us, and it's supposed to be how we elevate ourselves in sort of fictional based motivation. But I wanted to share that because I thought it was awesome. It's a way to get over Man City taking an L today. But, you know, in the microcosm, it's a long season. And I don't know how long the Infinity Saga took to make. I don't know how long it was for the movies. But I enjoyed the end. Definitely check it out because the music had a thing there. And hopefully nobody YouTubed it for you to see it. Hope maybe Disney puts it on Disney Plus, which I don't have because whatever about that. And might be on YouTube. They have like a trailer on YouTube. Go on YouTube, look for this. It's, if you get a chance, it's traveling, go see it. And enjoy your day, enjoy your time. And I'm gonna go here at 15 minutes, 16 minutes, I'm done.